Hi you guys, this is Jamie with Whatever's Clever Boutique, and we are on day 2 of our 12 days of winter inspiration tutorials. I hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's tutorial. Today I bring you this stunning tumbler that the inspiration all came from one glitter. So let's go ahead and get started. Everything I used will be listed and linked in the description box below, as well as some discount codes for you. Today's inspiration came from this Mount Crumpet glitter. I hadn't ever seen anything like it, and I got it in my KSRESIN mystery box, and I couldn't wait to use it. It has like white pearl with some metallic rainbow flecks in it. I was so excited. So here we are with a 20-ounce prep tumbler, and as always, I'm gonna go in with my epoxy method for glitter application today. Now to apply this glitter, because it is super chunky, I am just gonna lightly go over the tumbler, as you can see here, so that my big chunky pieces can lay flat on the tumbler. And once I get that all laid more in a light coat, I should say, I then go back in with a heavy coat so that that fine glitter that's in there can fill in the rest of those little open spaces. Now because this is a chunky glitter, I'm going to go ahead and wrap my tumbler after my glitter application in some parchment paper to flatten down my glitter. Then we're going to go ahead and go in with 2 coats of epoxy. I love my KSRESIN Liquidy Split Ultra UV epoxy. Now I'm going to do some sanding. We're doing a peekaboo, so I'm going to sand a pretty big chunk from that top there so that when we spray paint and we go to sand again later, you won't see that white glitter on the top where we sanded. So here I'm just measuring the length around the tumbler. When we go and do glitter application and then we apply something like a decal all the way around the tumbler, the distance around the tumbler is bigger than it was before it had glitter. So I measured the distance around the tumbler, and then I just cut out this forest silhouette on my silhouette. Now this is stencil vinyl because we are going to remove this. So I went ahead and put my transfer tape down, and then we're going to go ahead and just slowly apply this around the base of the tumbler. I do try and get it straight, but as you'll see here, it isn't perfectly straight, but I'm not worried about it at all because that bottom of the tumbler, you're not going to see that seam because it's going to be exposed glitter. So it doesn't matter at all that your seam is not straight. Once we get that all applied, we're going to go in with some cute little snowflakes, and we're just going to put those in the upper section. There is no rhyme or reason here, just wherever you see fit. We have all of our peekaboo decals applied. I'm just going to apply some painter's tape to that bottom glitter that's exposed there because we want that to stay glitter and not be spray painted. So once that is all done, we're going to take our tumbler outside and we're going to go ahead and spray paint it black. You can do whatever color you want here. I just wanted some stark contrast, so I went in with the black. Now is the fun part of peeling all of our decals. This did give me a little bit of trouble. I don't know if it's because it was cold in my office or what, but it took me quite some time to peel up these decals. And sometimes that's just the way it works with peekaboos. Sometimes it works super flawlessly and it's easy to pull up. Other times, not so much. And this was one of those other times. So I will skip through some of that here for you as it is pretty repetitive, but I just go through and remove all of those decals. And once we get all of those decals pulled, we're going to go in with 1 coat of epoxy. And with this 1 coat of epoxy, we are going to put some Grace Micro from KSRESIN into our epoxy. And it is just going to give our tumbler this amazing shimmer. Now, I'm doing something a little bit different today. So I'm actually going to outline my silhouette line with this red metallic vinyl. So basically I just created an offset around my silhouette and I made a compound path, which then gives you this outline. So I did want to save that silhouette because it was just so perfect, and why throw it away? So I'm just going to cut off that bottom part there because we left the bottom exposed. And I'm just going to cut the silhouette into like little sections, if you will, to make it easier to apply. So I just take one section at a time and slowly apply it around that forest area of our tumbler. Now for that spot where our ends meet, I just take my X-Acto knife and slice off both of the sides of excess, if you will, just to kind of make that more seamless. And here is what we got. And can we talk about that shimmer from that Grace that we put into our epoxy? It is so gorgeous. It almost looks like we glittered the tumbler. So once we finish that, we're going to go in and make our decal. As you saw there, I also cut out one layer in that red metallic. And then I'm going to use this really pretty green sparkly glitter as well as some white. So we're going to do a triple layer offset. And that green is going to be my base. Then we're going to lay the white and then we will lay the red. I'm just going to take that decal, and I just kind of chose a spot where there wasn't a snowflake. I really didn't plan for the decal initially when I was laying the snowflake, so I just figured where I thought it would look best, and I laid that decal down. Now we're going to go in with a coat of epoxy. Before this coat of epoxy though, I did add a layer of quick coat because we had quite a bit of vinyl work here and I didn't want anything to lift. So once that quick coat is dry, we're going to go in with one coat of epoxy, and we're going to add some depth here with this coat. Then I'm going to take our Mount Crumpet, and we're going to put a little bit of that in a mixing cup with some epoxy. And then I'm just going to take a gloved finger, and I'm just going to apply that sporadically through the black section of our tumbler. You can add as little or as much or none at all if you prefer it the way it was before. But I just really wanted to give it a little more depth and kind of wow factor, if you will. So this is the route that I decided to go. We're then going to go ahead and take our torch and pop any of those air bubbles. We did agitate the epoxy quite a bit, so we want to be sure to pop those bubbles. Now we're going to take this winter shape glitter from KSRESIN, and I'm going to just apply these randomly to the tumbler as well. Then we're going to go ahead and pop any remaining air bubbles, and we're going to let that cure. And once that's all cured, we're going to go in with one final coat of epoxy, and our tumbler is done. I love how this one turned out. It was so much fun, something a little bit different. It's definitely not so much a style that I do regularly. I do love peekaboos, but they're just not something for me that is super easy, I should say. I always struggle to pull decals and things like that, so I tend to veer away from them. But when I do them, I'm always so glad that I do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Again, this Mount Crumpet glitter is absolutely gorgeous. It is something so different. I had never really seen it before. So if you guys grab it, I would love to see what you make with it. And thank you so much for watching. I will be back tomorrow.